What's up, guys? Here with you with FC Wonderkid, episode 39. Here with my guy, Breton. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm so bummed. I think gone is our prediction that the Premier League fight or the fight for Premier League supremacy is going to be a close one. Manchester City, man, they look the squad. What do you think?
When honestly now, Man City, like they've won 4 Premier Leagues out of the last 5. And
Yeah.
now getting the next one, honestly, man, I don't know. Are we starting to see Bundesliga just like the Premier League, Bayern dominance in the Prem with City? Like,
Yeah.
hopefully not with the level of competition and the money. Like, I know Chelsea. If there was a team that is like the kryptonite of City,
Yeah.
it's Chelsea
Mhm.
and Thomas Tuchel. So the fact
Yeah.
that not even them can get it done, it's very, very bad, man, for the competition.
And,
So I think
you know,
City's gonna get it. Yeah.
yeah, it really does feel like it. I do understand Liverpool has a couple games in hand, but Kevin De Bruyne comes up with a beautiful curler. And it just Pep Guardiola's come out and he said, if there's one manager that I actually learn from,
Mm-hmm.
it's Thomas Tuchel, and it really didn't look like it today. I mean, the only one that looked like they wanted it on Chelsea was N'Golo Kante, and Manchester City just looked different. Kyle Walker underrated. We're gonna get into underrated today, but Kyle Walker underrated. Laporte, I love. Phil Foden had a game that you're not gonna see him show up on the stat sheet or
Mm-hmm.
or anything, but he just had one of those games where he was such a thorn in Chelsea's side. And I don't know. It's becoming clear to me that City is the cream of the crop, and I don't know. Are we entering? Yeah, like you said, are we entering Bundesliga, Farmers League
But but
status?
but
Just kidding.
the question is like is Thomas Tuchel the guy to win a Premier League with Chelsea? Okay, he won the Champions League, but
Yeah,
they got this dominance from Man City that is the depth because it's a long competition, the Prem, and it's not like
it
the
is.
Champions League knockout. So does Chelsea or Liverpool or Man United have the same depth right now as Man City? I think the closest one is Man United. And look what's
Yeah.
happening to them. So, the questions that are aroused. But for me, I honestly felt sad because I'm seeing a lot of speculation, with a striker that we're gonna talk more in the transfers, but seeing
Sure.
Lukaku there, okay,
Yeah.
and I think that was like the big reason that the Chelsea fans would say, well, imagine if we had a striker next season. We would be bantering Man City, no doubt. Liverpool, no doubt. You got Lukaku, and it doesn't seem to be the missing piece. So it
No.
must be so frustrating right now because it seems like they have almost everything but the win.
But the win, and I don't know. I'm gonna have to push back on that Man United cohesion. I mean, I think Liverpool still has the
No, no,
cohesion.
no. Squad depth, squad depth,
Yeah.
not
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
not
yeah.
the
Sure.
tactics. No, not the team. No, no, no,
I don't
no,
know. I
no,
mean,
no.
I'm gonna question United's depth too. I mean, hell, half that bench wants to get the hell out of Dodge, and probably will sometime soon at United. But yeah, no, I'm with you. I just think Man City is they're a different breed right now.
Well,
And
we mentioned it,
yeah,
right? So might as well just go into it with the Man United talk that we saw Ronaldo with a couple of comments saying that this generation is not accepting criticism like I did when I was 18. And
sure.
it is true, okay? But it
Yeah,
is different, okay, Ronaldo, okay? It's just like because I feel like this generation has been educated in a way that it's they're used to being more exposed and facing criticism much more. So they are more on the defensive side. Look, I'm not saying that is the right way, but this generation is a bit softer accepting criticism. And I think that's a fact. And is it
yeah,
good? I don't know because the players that maybe are accepting the criticism faster or
yeah.
adapting and becoming better. So I understand Ronaldo's comments, but it's I guess it's the world we live in.
I mean, it is. It's when Ronaldo was coming up. I'm sure Roy Keane was waxing poetic about the 10, 15 years prior. about how you could like take a player's head off and nobody would bat an eyelash right at it.
Mm-hmm.
He was probably calling Cristiano Ronaldo soft back in the day.
I
You
yes.
know, and I don't know, maybe 10 years from now they're all going to be ballet dancers. Nothing against ballet dancers. And everybody is going to, I don't know, be incredibly politically correct and whatever. You're not going to hurt anybody's feelings on the field. I don't know where this is going, but yeah, this seemed like a week for sound bites when it came out of it. You have
Mm-hmm.
Cristiano Ronaldo back and forth. Obviously, we talked a lot about Harry Maguire versus Cristiano Ronaldo last week.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've also got all this transfer talk that's coming to a head,
Mm-hmm.
which we'll get into in a little bit. But it's now getting down to the wire, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
getting down to the wire where people are conveniently placing sound bites in the media
Mm-hmm.
that are either spurring action or inaction on a club's part or on a player's part. And I
But
don't, that's just a product of our times. Everything is done through freaking media these days.
no, but
Um,
no, but you have to
yeah,
say too, like Ronaldo is like the work ethic that he puts in. Like you got to admire it. And I'll be honest with you, seeing the momentum that Rashford now is in, Greenwood is in, Martial even. Like Martial is in the ruins of his career right now. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
the urgency that Ronaldo does say that he would expect to see, for in his eyes, it's just unrealistic not to have it, and that just
yeah,
shows the mentality that he has. Ronaldo can't comprehend why aren't people working as hard as he does, and that
well,
is a Mamba elite mentality. Okay, and I gotta say too, I don't want Mason Greenwood to turn out just like Rashford and Martial right now. I
right.
don't. I have higher expectations for Mason Greenwood, and I'm sure Cristiano Ronaldo has those same expectations too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
I do. I do. We also have to remember how much of a freak of nature Cristiano Ronaldo is, too.
mm-hmm,
You could be working 99% of Cristiano Ronaldo,
mm-hmm,
and you probably, he'd probably still yell at you and tell you you can't have dessert.
mm-hmm.
You know, so
I get you.
it's a tough standard because he's one in a generation,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I think
I,
you're always going to be left wanting, and these are guys that are still at the upper echelon of footballing,
yeah.
right? They are still elite players and or have been elite players, have been in form in the past,
Mm-hmm.
and hell, we know what Marcus Rashford does off the field that just puts him up there with the greats.
True.
But what it comes down to is you're never gonna reach the echelon of Ronaldo. I mean, hell, Portugal, anyone that's played with Cristiano Ronaldo in that Portuguese national team has never reached that level
Well, what do
ever.
you mean, Pep? What do you mean?
Well, yeah, precisely. I mean, he's still made mistakes. He's still, like, you're telling me Pep has the same physique that Cristiano Ronaldo does? You're telling me that Pep looks like a 28-year-old, 30-year-old in terms of
No,
physique?
no,
No,
but
he
Pep is
nobody
too.
work. What I'm trying to compliment your boy in this sense. Nobody is going to be Cristiano Ronaldo. So what is Cristiano Ronaldo's standards? Well, it's I guess winning. And for him, I think it's a little naive for him to think he was just going to slot into United and everyone was just going to fall in line,
Well, I don't
right?
want to be that guy, man. But there's two
Yeah,
players that in the Portuguese national team that I feel like they learned with Ronaldo. One of them is Pep. The guy's 38, 39, and he's in pretty good shape. And the other player, you know what? I thought you knew who I was gonna mention, and it's Nani. That he was in the MLS, pretty good shape, my guy. And now it's a Venetia, like the guy with a proper body, man. But I get you though, like with the elite
but needless,
levels.
yeah, it's a different breed when Cristiano Ronaldo is talking, and in some respects, it almost feels unattainable,
True,
if
true,
that makes sense. It
true.
feels like the mom that is never going to give you the love you deserve.
I get you. And the last thing with Ronaldo, with the Man United talk, is there's a lot with these comments comes the hate too. Of like saying,
Yeah,
oh, like Man United is worse with Ronaldo than they would be without him. All this
sure.
chit chat. Man, the truth is, like, just imagine if Ronaldo had the numbers that Messi has in Liga. Just
Yeah,
imagine. Like, the people would be going bald on top of Ronaldo, like going absolutely bonkers on him. So what I have to say is he's leading by example, clearly by saying this, and he wants to change. And I do believe they're gonna have a fight with Arsenal for that top four. I do believe, and Tottenham. I do believe, but they'll just have to bounce back, get things sorted. And another thing too, Donny van de Beek, start the guy. Okay, Ralph Ragnick said it. The game looked totally different. Donny controlled the game the moment he came on, and it's clear. I think Donny is here to stay. Okay, so.
It felt like this whole week was Ralph Rangnick trying to herd his sheep. You know, it's kind of like, well, you know, I understand Dean Henderson wants to play, but I really need him, and I really need, you know, we have a lot of fixtures coming up. Okay, well, Dean Henderson's going to keep waiting. All right, it's that simple. And the exact same thing with Donny van de Beek. We all said when Ralph Rangnick came in, Donny van de Beek was going to be one of the best beneficiaries of this, and we've been proven wrong so far. But yeah, every time he comes in, if we say something long enough, we'll be right about it, right?
Exactly. So I want to talk now here on an unfortunate end, because I saw the two big time players that I had high expectations this season. Was one of them Alphonso Davies. He got a heart related issue. I don't know too in depth, but Aubameyang and Alphonso Davies, man, it's so unfortunate to see like COVID affecting these players like with heart diseases, man. And I just wanted to say, like, I really didn't want to forget, because yes, I do support Alphonso Davies a lot. Okay, it's not just Nunes. Alphonso Davies is a baller, man, and I just want to see him in a speedy recovery, man. Because
and I'll say it right now. I mean, you know, not that we should be talking. First off, we hear that it's mild myocarditis, so we hear hopefully that he'll be back soon. But you know, I really do hope, and I'm pretty positive that Canada will be absolutely fine and on track for World Cup qualification after this upcoming window. I think, you know, they're probably capable of getting a result against us, even without Alphonso Davies banging down the wing and terrorizing our back
Jonathan
line.
David goal.
But yeah, and Jonathan David too. Yeah, but he'll step up, I'm sure. And plus, we'll be playing in like negative 55-degree weather in Hamilton, Ontario.
Oh, my days.
Yeah. But Alphonso Davies, I mean, all we can say is get back soon. You know, you've got a long career ahead of you. Just like wait it out, man. If you need another week, get another week. These guys will get it done for you. And you know, Aubameyang, I guess, picked up COVID in the airport or something like that, or had it and whatever. It was picked up by a test. It's just such a shame. I wanted to see. Yeah, I just want to see him ball out at AFCON for Gabon, and they have a big game, I think, today or later. But hopefully he gets back to it sooner rather than later. But I don't know, man. Should we head right into AFCON, because that seems like a pretty weird.
I just wanted to say too about the Rafa position at Everton, guys. I think it's done. Okay, with Norwich not doing too well. Everton not doing too well against Norwich. So I think, guys, expect Rafa Benitez to be out of Everton, okay? Because this ain't moving forward, okay? It's more than done. So yeah, I just wanted to leave that one there.
Yeah, I mean, if you've lost the locker room, it's over. It's over, right? I mean, it does nobody any good for somebody to stick around longer than when nobody respects him, or seemingly nobody respects him. I know the fan base certainly doesn't respect him. This isn't the same Rafa Benitez.
True, and we forgot to say that Lewandowski got 300 Bundesliga goals registered, okay? Because that's a big boy stat, okay? And there was another stat too, that only since his debut in 2008, only Muller has more assists than Lionel Messi, and that is a pretty crazy stat too, man. So yeah,
very crazy. And if you're going to talk about Lewandowski, Thomas Muller right behind him with, I think he's got 17 assists in the top, like by far the leading assist provider in the top 5 leagues this year. And I don't know, it just seems like that man just it just knows what to do. He's like he's playing 4D chess, and we just don't get it. So yeah, definitely some good honorable stuff from Lewandowski and Mueller, and you can talk about the Bundesliga all you want, but those guys made the Bundesliga, Bayern's Bundesliga.
True.
Those two made it.
Mhm.
That way, and
Agree.
you know, it's very impressive to see. So wow, we fit a lot into that general news section, man. We got like, you threw out Nani to Venezia, you threw out some good stuff in there. I like it.
No, but
Um,
AFCON. I want to
yeah,
start with
anyway,
the AFCON with my man Vicente Abubakar. That I
yeah,
remember seeing him when he was at Porto. Okay,
yep,
already he went from striker to winger, lethal force. Okay, the guy is so good, and you can't take the ball off him. That's what I gotta say. But I was watching the game, and he scored like 2 goals in 2 minutes.
yep,
Abubakar. So
yeah,
it's wonderful to see. And I see the stats too that he was the first player to score in 3 consecutive Cameroon games since Samuel Eto'o in 2008. So big
okay,
up to Vincent Abubakar, man. And
yeah,
he might be the player that in AFCON looks world class. And when he goes back to clubs, not the same. But it's wonderful to see, man. Really good.
I gotta ask, where is he now? Is he in Russia?
You
Yeah.
see, I don't even know. Actually, don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
I'll look that up in a second when I don't know, when we're arguing about
But
something.
Abubakar, man, I remember when he was at Porto, he was like, but he has 3 goals now, 2 games. Like he was
Four.
really good against Burkina Faso. 4.
He's got 4 goals now. I
So
think he's got 4 goals through 2 games. Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
big
I mean,
time.
we did in our preview. We did talk about Cameroon having the strike force,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll see. You know, we'll see once they get out of the group whether or not they can do that against Algeria or a Morocco or a whoever. But 4 goals through 2 games. I think Carl Toko Akambe also had 2 in that game, that most recent game. So Cameroon, host nation,
Mm-hmm.
looking pretty good. But I gotta, you know, that's a positive. Actually, you know what? I'll go with another positive here.
Mm.
No Hakim Ziyech for
Yes.
Morocco, right? No problem
Yes.
for Morocco. Morocco has 2 wins, 2 games, 3 goals. They haven't conceded any. And just a couple names we got to throw out there. Obviously, everybody that's listened to this channel, we always talk about Akraf Hakimi. But there are some other non-Wonderkid names that, like a Salim Amala,
Mm-hmm.
Sofiane Boufal has looked
Fall was so
very, very good.
good.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So, I mean, come on, that first game they beat Ghana,
Mm-hmm.
not bad. Second game they shut out the Comoros, okay, probably expected, and then they have Gabon soon, and I think it's going to be a Aubameyang less
Mm.
Gabon that they're playing. So I expect them to go 3 for 3, and no Ziyech, no problem. They're going to be into the next round, and probably one of the dangers
and
come
and
up.
Morocco definitely no picking up form, and Morocco haven't lost in 6 matches in the AFCON. So this is actually their biggest run, longest run. Okay,
Yeah.
so they have 5 wins and 1 draw. So they are the pace is with the momentum is with Morocco. So longest run. So let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Well, I got to throw out for every good thing, for every good first, there's going to be a bad first here. So are you ready for this? This is my good bad segment. Here's the good. First woman referee to lead a match at
Mm-hmm.
AFCON. 33-year-old Rwandan.
Yes.
I think her name is Salima Mukansanga, and you know, that's pretty amazing. For all intents and purposes, so
Yeah.
much so that you and I, as men, we can't even process it. But it is pretty damn awesome that happened. Okay, that's the good. That's the good, and we
Is,
hope to see more.
is the
You ready
negative
for the bad?
related to Tunisia?
Yeah. Oh my God, dude, Tunisia, Mali. Come on, that's a bad look all around. That made CONCACAF refereeing look
Memulous.
good. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to recap it, or should I recap it?
No.
Because here's what. Okay. Here's what happened. I'm not going to name the guy's name because he probably has a family. But long story short, he blew for full time. Okay. He blew for the final whistle at 85 minutes. Blew for the final whistle at 85 minutes. Okay. He then realized his mistake. I don't know if he like forgot to start his watch or whatever. He realized his mistake. He restarted the game, and then he sent off a player. VAR showed that the player probably should not have been sent off, but whatever, he stuck with it anyway. So both teams were down as whatever. And then VAR obviously making it all controversial. You've got both of these teams, Tunisia and Mali, really pissed off at him. He upholds his call, and then he blows the final whistle again 30 seconds before he should have. Not even 30 seconds before he should have. 30 seconds before extra time, when there totally should have been extra time because there were 2 VAR reviews in the half, and there was a water break, which at least add a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever. But you're not blowing it 2 times too early. And then after the fact, the poor guy, I guess the cover story here is that he had heat stroke and severe dehydration. So if that's true, I hope he's recovering well. But do I think he should referee a game again if he's not hydrating properly? No. So
the big question is, was he hydrating properly?
I guess so. That's the question, right?
My days, man. How is it possible for this to happen in such a big tournament, man? You know what I mean? Like, what's the nomination of the referees? Like, what's the criteria of them? Like, and what's the prepping before the competition? Like, oh man, that was insane, and that was very, very. I didn't watch it live, but I was seeing the reaction on Twitter, and people were they couldn't believe it. And honestly, I thought it was a meme or something that was happening. Seeing the cart in, oh my days, I couldn't. So AFCON is going pretty well. It's going pretty well. And then I just want to mention too an underrated player in AFCON that guys, watch out. It's Muretu Kasama. Okay.
Yeah.
4 key passes, 3 out of 4 dribbles, man. He is an underrated player that we are going to talk more forwards in the episode with the underrated 11. But I really wanted to put it out there. Remember the name, guys. Muretu Kasama. Okay.
Yeah, and
phenomenal midfielder.
I'll throw out a name as well. Mohamed Kamara for Sierra Leone.
Mm-hmm.
Is their goalkeeper, and he kept Algeria to a 0-0 stalemate in their first game. And my God, did he stand on his head? I think he had something like 9 saves, 8 saves inside the box. He was all over the place. And what was even cooler is when he was accepting the Man of the Match award, he broke down. Like, he was crying with how honored he was for that to happen. And Sierra Leone has kind of like there's a MLS connection there. A guy that is like a legend in Major League Soccer. He's like one of 10 that have scored 100+ goals in a 1996 25-year history for MLS. But Kai Kamara plays for Sierra Leone, so I've always had this added I want to watch and see Sierra Leone do really well. And this guy, Mohamed Kamara, is one you're going to have to watch in the future, because keeping Algeria scoreless, that's pretty good for a goalkeeper. So,
I agree. Yeah. I saw the result, and I was like, what happened over here, man? Like, that was insane. Like, keeping Algeria, which they're like in a 30-game run without losing, like no goals. Like, I agree. What a story, Breton. That's a phenomenal mention. So, guys, if there's anything in the AFCON we haven't mentioned, please put down below in the comment section, okay? And let's have a good chat. Like, good results, players we haven't mentioned, anything, put down below, okay? So, Wonderkids news, okay? We got to start with the Nico Williams talk, man, because, like, I know you knew I had to mention that, because that was huge. Like, beating, like, that was the result against Atletico. Oh my days, beautiful moment. Subbed in 10 minutes, gets the goal, buries it in. Nico Williams embracing his brother Inaki Williams, seeing the mother in the stands. Oh my days, I loved it. I loved it.
Have you read up on that story at all in terms of their mother?
No.
She apparently walked through the Saharan desert to get to essentially a refugee camp. And there's a whole lot more, color to that situation in terms of, finding her way somehow to the Basque region, right? to Athletic Bilbao, which only plays Basque players. Yes. She was pregnant with Inaki. I mean, if all I'm saying is, without going into it, that moment there of Inaki celebrating with his youngest brother, Nico,
Yeah.
looking into the stands to their mother. I mean, that just had an amazing weight to it that you and I probably will never understand. But I implore everybody, if you get a chance, go look. I forget who wrote it, but go look at that story and definitely bring it up. It's totally worth a read, and it just makes you love those two even more, the Williams brothers. But I think we're gonna have to. That's a nice podcast topic one day. We're gonna have to list like top footballing brothers or something,
Well,
because they're rapidly getting up there.
you have Bender, like the Sven Bender, and then you have now coming up Jove and Jude Bellingham. So we got a couple of. I remember when I was a kid, I used to love like how similar they were. It was Fabio and Rafael at Man United. Like you couldn't tell them apart. No, you could playing. You could playing definitely, because I remember Rafael was a bit more. I would. But, yes, exactly. So
and we can't remember. I'm sorry, we can't forget the upcoming João Felix and Hugo.
Hugo Felix. Yes. That's a good mention too. And they play in the same position, so that would be interesting too. So yeah.
All right. Well, that's a good one to start the Wonderkids in the news. And yeah, so for those that don't know, Bilbao will play Real Madrid in the final. And I know you were live for that. I was in the chat section, and that was a whole lot of fun for that Real Madrid Barcelona Clásico. But if we're talking about Wonderkids in the news, I mean, we probably, I don't know, it straddles transfers too. But like, come on. Erling Haaland this is news in and of itself. He had a 2-game streak of not scoring a goal. Okay, that's an issue. This is a joke. It's a joke. I'm bad at making jokes, but he had 2 games where he didn't score a goal, and then he scored 2 goals in the Bundesliga game yesterday, Friday. And I just need to bring this up. The guy has 78 goals in 77 games since joining Borussia Dortmund. And I don't know, I know we've talked about this before, but we cannot normalize that stat. That stat is absolutely unreal. And the only reason we can even minorly normalize that stat is because Robert Lewandowski's been doing it as well. But it's just so crazy to me now that 78 goals in 77 games, there is no way this man is going to Barcelona. There is no way they can pay for him.
Well, let's see. It's Barcelona. Like I really think they're the first. They're in pole position to get Haaland. In my opinion, they're in pole position because they are obviously going to sell big players, including Frankie De Jong. That's the names that they will sell to get Haaland, and it's understandable. But with the Wonderkids, man, I gotta speak about a kid that is killing it at Palmeiras, man, and I saw the tape, and I couldn't believe it. A 15-year-old ripping everyone named Hendrik, guys, okay? At Palmeiras, okay? This kid, I don't know if you've seen the tape, Skiller. Like, it's not even Skiller. He's, like, swagging. He's floating in that pitch, man. Palmeiras, 15 years old, forward, Hendrik, guys. Really, watch out. He has 170 games already in Palmeiras youth games. And 167 goals, man. Those stats, I know it's academy stats, but still. 15 years old. And people at Palmeiras fans already expect to see him in the first team next season. So that just speaks how good this kid is. Hendrik, okay? Forward. Yeah. Watch out, guys.
Yeah, and you can find a little bit of a hype video of his highlights on Palmeiras, their TikTok. He's on there as well. Maybe you can stitch your audio to their video on TikTok. But yeah, he looks every bit the real deal, and Palmeiras just seems to do it like year in, year out. Just seems to give the platform to the young ones to come through, and it's really cool to see. But he is one that is gaining a lot of steam, and we can't forget like the ones above that, right? Like the Mateus Nascimento. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but there's a bunch of young Brazilian strikers. I mean, we know this.
Angelo Gabriel at Santos. Yeah. Angelo Gabriel too, guys. I really expect him to have a move soon. Like like Angelo Gabriel, like Mateusz Nascimento too. He's the if you guys don't know too much about Mateusz Nascimento, he's the traditional number 9. You can see the movements a bit lanky but very good skilling.
Yeah.
Like he's a very good shout. But Angelo Gabriel is the one that I expect to see coming to Europe very, very, very soon. Very
Yeah,
soon.
that's a good shout. Well, if I'm gonna stay in the Western Hemisphere for a second, okay? I don't know if you saw this. You probably didn't because there's no real reason for you to. But
The draft.
you remember a certain name, Freddie Adu, right?
Oh.
Back in the day.
Yes.
Okay, he was signed as a 14-year-old, and that was like, I don't know, 15, 18 years ago, something like that. I mean, this guy was so hyped up, so overhyped, it hurt his career. But he had like promos with Pele. He had promos for the World Cup. I mean, he went to Benfica, showed like a couple cool things, but really ended up doing nothing. Anyway, long story short, Real Salt Lake, okay, they just got new ownership. Good, very good ownership. And they just went on a signing through their academy binge. So giving senior team contracts, homegrown contracts, to 5 players 17 years old and younger. And one of them broke Freddie Adu's youngest ever to get a contract record. And that was, and this is a name you have to watch, Axel Kai. He's 14 years old, 14 years, 15 days old. So he breaks Freddie Adu's record by like a half a year. And all I can say is, first off, this kid is very, very good for his age. He does not look his age. He looks like Lukaku did at 14 years old. Or Mukoko did at 14 years old. But I've just got to say is I hope that they defend him. I hope that they guard him, and I hope that they bring him through as slow as they need to make it happen. But from those that I've spoken to, Axel Kai is somebody that you're gonna want to watch out for. And even above that, there's a kid named Jude Wellings, not Jude Bellings, but Jude Wellings is another kid out of Real Salt Lake that just got a homegrown contract, who's 15, that everybody's pretty hyped about.
And
so
Axel Kai, what you think? Like, I'm not gonna say the ceiling, but do you expect him like to go to like Bundesliga, like 14, maybe 17? You don't know. We have to wait and see, right?
Well, here's his contract situation. Normally, the homegrown deals are like 3 years with an option. Okay. For some reason, I believe his was reported as only 2 years. So what that leads me to believe is that Real Salt Lake does more developing with him, and then it sounds like there's probably a European club that's off in the wings that might have first right of refusal that we don't know about. I might be making stuff up, but Axel Kai is going to be one. Very clearly, people are watching him. I just hope that this doesn't get to him, that they keep it on the down low, which we don't help in doing that. But he should, for all intents and purposes, I think develop pretty well in this new Major League Soccer. Back when Freddie Adu was around, nobody had the infrastructure to bring a guy along as talented as Freddie Adu was at his age.
You love to see it, and I'll be honest with you, not a lot of 14-year-olds are known in football. So the fact that a kid is getting good recognition at 14, man, like that's a big up on him. But I'll talk about a player now. Just a quick stat, and I loved the fact that he played, and it's the Liverpool Wonderkid, Kane Gordon. Okay, he became the second youngest goal scorer in LFC history, man. And I just want to say this: I expect Kane Gordon in 2-3 years to be a solid player at Liverpool, okay? I have doubts with Curtis Jones, but I think Curtis Jones can be a bit passive on the pitch. But Harvey Elliott and Kane Gordon, those are 2 LFC youngsters. I really believe that they're gonna be effective, and they're gonna be in the Liverpool squad for sure. But Curtis Jones, I'm having doubts, in terms of like, is he gonna be a starter for 5-10 years?
Yeah, that injury, since he's come back, he hasn't been like. Your worry for Curtis Jones makes me worried for Harvey Elliott when he gets back, right? That's the way I look at it.
Yes.
Like these are guys that Curtis Jones had a swagger previous to him getting injured that he doesn't he hasn't gotten back yet.
Yeah.
And we'll see. But Cade Gordon has been he's been phenomenal within that setup, and he was even highly touted when it was Derby County, right? That was developing with him, and that's
Rooney
very
in the mud. Rooney in the mud.
yeah. But I like that shout, man. Cade Gordon, him scoring that goal.
And I have another stat that I wanted to say too in the Wonderkids news that for me is absolutely crazy, and it's a Saka stat. Yeah, Arsenal fans, you're getting excited about this, but Saka has already scored and assisted Saka against Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Spurs, Leicester, and West Ham at the age of 20. At the age of 20. So, if you want more guarantees, Saka gives them, okay, with a goal or an assist against these teams, man. It's fantastic, man. It was just so crazy. I had to mention it. I
think to add on to that, that Arsenal Liverpool Carabao Cup. Thank you, Granit Xhaka, for running the rest of your teammates into the ground. But Bukayo Saka, I mean Gabriel Martinelli, like the shift that he put in that game, all the Arsenal young kids.
But Nketiah, like Xhaka getting that red card, like made Nketiah get the sub, and Lacazette was out there speaking to Nketiah. He was so down, man, and you have to feel sorry for him because Nketiah scored a hat trick in the previous fixture against Sunderland, and now was the time to play against the big boy team of Liverpool, and that happens, man. Yeah, I agree with you.
It does. It sucks, but hey, they have every bit the chance, right? Mm-hmm. They have every bit the chance in the second leg. So that was a hell of a performance by them, and like you said, Saka is the leader of the bunch, and it's great to see. And to end off the Wonderkids in the news, I know he's not really a Wonderkid, but I just have to say how much of a boss Ronaldo Rajo is.
Yes.
Not even a full week since he had screws installed for like a broken hand or something to stabilize a fracture, and the guy's back on the field in the Barca lineup. And this goes beyond footballing. It's the warrior mentality that I'm sure Xavi wants back, and that any club would pay handsomely for, including maybe Real Madrid. Who knows? But Ronaldo Rajo, I mean that is certainly something I would never do. I'd be sitting there eating the Jello in the hospital, be taking my time, But no, I was very, very impressed, if not surprised, that his. I get it, it's his hand, but you fall on that hand, man, that's gonna hurt.
Facts, and he's a big dude, man. So big dude. So if there's anything, guys, that we haven't mentioned in the Wonderkids news and we forgot, please put down in the comment section below. And yeah, we like to have a good chat about Wonderkids. So yeah, please feel free to do. So. Now, transfers. You were talking about Haaland, man. Like, we got to talk, because that's the big boy transfer. Because I text you straight away saying, like, you see what Fabrizio Romano said. You see what Fabrizio... He's leaving in January, and we all know why, right? Like, I was saying, we all know why Dortmund wants to sell him in January instead of the summer. It's about the big boy money, because release clause in the summer, no release clause in January. So I'm expecting. Who was happy about this was clearly Man City. Okay, like the team that was happy, the most happy about a deal for Haaland is Man City. The teams that must have been pretty nice. Chelsea, even with Lukaku being there, the whole situation is not looking too good. So Haaland, Chelsea, and Haaland, Juve too. Because Juve and Raiola they have a phenomenal relationship, both clubs. And I could see that happening for Haaland because Juve do need a star, an icon of forwards. And Chiesa's now got that ACL injury. So I do think that Juventus will be pushing too hard to get Haaland. But the team that I think is going to get him, I think it's Barcelona, Breton. I think Barcelona are going to get him.
They just had to rearrange. They had to rearrange the deck chairs just to get Ferran. Like you're gonna have to see a mass exodus in January. And like I said, It's too hard. It's too hard to sell these players
I,
at cut rates for whatever. I mean,
I
you're
agree.
gonna have to sell your best players, and at that
Yes,
point, you're gonna cannibalize your best
yes. You
players.
mentioned it. I think Barcelona. If Barcelona have the chance to get Erling Haaland, I think they're
Yeah.
gonna sell Frankie De Jong on the dot. I really think that will happen. And this is the best thing. If we see news of Barcelona selling Frankie, we know why now. We know why now because they have Niku there, they have Gavi there, and I'll be honest, the Barcelona team looked double better with Pedri in midfield when he came on. Okay, the Barca midfield looked so much better. So I think Frankie leaving is something that would be acceptable if Haaland were to come in. Therefore, I honestly think that there is a possibility. There is a possibility. A lot of anticipation for this decision for sure, but
Yeah.
just imagine
But one
Ferran Torres.
isn't-
Sorry,
Yeah. I mean, there's only so many teams that are gonna sign him. That can sign him.
but just imagine Ferran Torres, Fati, and Haaland, and behind him Gavi and Pedri and Nico. That is beautiful, beautiful.
It is, but it ain't gonna win anything in a couple years.
I think if they had that front trio, I believe La Liga could be in discussion. You don't? You don't?
No. I mean, I think we're looking at a very limited range of data points, right? So far
True.
for the Gavi and all them, and to play 50,
Mm,
55, 60 games in a season, we saw what happened to Pedri and how long he was out
true.
after he played a whole lot more than that. But these are young guys that if they don't go through growing pains with this, if they don't go through periods of crappy form, then they're superhuman, and I don't think that that's the case. I really don't think that that's the case. So I think it's going to take longer. I mean, Holland's obviously going to get you there faster, but you could also cannibalize your fiscal responsibility in doing so. Not that Barcelona has given two craps about that in the past.
Exactly.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I know. I understand. I
It's
understand.
either City or Madrid for me. City or Real.
Real, man. If it's Real, honestly, if Real Madrid get Haaland, Mbappe, Rudiger in a window, that's just broken. That is just broken, and that replicates Kaká, Benzema, Ronaldo a bit. No,
Yeah,
totally in
you said-
today's day. Like what?
Yeah, you don't want Galacticos 2.0, right? You don't want that?
I would prefer to have a strong Barcelona team and a strong Real Madrid team because I already see Vinicius Junior at Real Madrid and just thinking the fact that they'll add Vini, Haaland, Mbappe. Like we are out here, me and you, Bretson, saying the future of the Ballon d'Or is Haaland and Mbappe. And in discussion right now is maybe Vinicius. So the player that we even say that maybe can be in discussion is in the team. That would be, it's monopolizing football a bit. You know what I mean? So,
It is.
ah.
But the weird thing is, like, most of the transfer talk I've seen recently has been less. Obviously, the Holland news was very different. The quotes that have come out, him saying that the club is pressuring him to make a decision now. But I've also then been hearing this dual thing where Alvaro Morata happens to be like the top striker transfer target for Barcelona. And Fabrizio Romano has reported on such and said that that's still very much a Xavi thing. So I don't know, man. This is interesting. But why don't we talk about the ones that are definite, right? The ones that because we got to talk about how funny throwing out 30 million euros to Chris Wood is. Right?
Genius. It could be a genius play though, Breton, right? Because who are Newcastle going against to the relegation battle? It's against Burnley. And fun fact, I saw the rumors to replace Chris Wood at Burnley. It's Andy Carroll. Like what? Like this? You can't even invent this. Like I couldn't. Like how?
But well, here's the funny thing is, like, with Chris Wood gone and starting for Newcastle today. We're recording this on a Saturday, which is not normal. But with Chris Wood gone and leading Burnley scorer Maxwell Cornet, remember the Lyon Ivory
Yes.
Coast winger, he's at AFCON. Burnley's leading scorer is literally their center back. Okay, but I do have to say this.
Jeez.
Chris Wood, a Kiwi, right? Chris
Mm-hmm.
Wood is a Premier League vet. Kind of fits the bill
I
for
agree.
like a Kieran Trippier. You're overspending literally to try and destroy a relegation opponent. But he is an elite company in a stat. You ready for this?
Hmm.
He is one of only 7 Premier League players to score 10 or more in the last 4 seasons consecutively. Okay?
What?
Chris Wood is up there. He's up there with Harry Kane. He's up there with Jamie Vardy. He's up there with Mo Salah and
Damn.
Son, I think. Son Heung-min? Yeah, I think so. So Chris Wood, has shown for a crappy team that he can get on the end of, some pretty damn good crosses and whatnot. So he can do a lot of work on his own, even on an island. But 30 million euros. Whew.
I think Newcastle. This is the funny part for me because I think Newcastle weren't even expecting to sign Chris Wood. Like he wasn't even in the shortlist. The story is that the agents of Chris Wood are the same agents of Kieran Trippier.
Come on,
And
really?
yeah, and they were like, "Oh, Chris Wood has a release clause of like as a secret release clause that nobody knows. It's undisclosed." And yeah, Sean Dyke knew the day after that Chris Wood was out and got bonkers because he was like, "How can we let him go?" And yeah, it was this all happened supposedly because Kieran Trippier's agents said in the meeting that yeah, Chris Wood has a good release clause too. Would you mind to sign him? That's crazy,
Oh,
right? That is
oh my, that's
crazy,
next
man.
level. That is next level.
But it's being
Well,
in the
Chris
new,
Wood,
sorry,
yeah.
Chris
All
Wood.
right. Chris Wood just got his payday. Good,
But
good for him. And hopefully, I still think Newcastle's going down so far.
well,
Here we
yes,
go.
yes, but
Watford just tied him up.
yeah, well, you see, but this talk still is to sign other players, and I do fully expect Newcastle to sign 3 players more. I think 3 is a good number. Trippier, Wood, and 3 more. And
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if one of them was Diego Carlos because the push is real. And I'll be honest with you, if Newcastle get Diego Carlos, they straight away have a top 5 center back in the Premier League, in my opinion. And that is bonkers because the latest bid that they've given is 30 million. But Diego Carlos has a release clause of 70. This meaning they're going to push more
Yeah.
until the end of January. So I expect Diego Carlos to join Newcastle for a 40 to 50 million range. But my days, man, that's a quality signing. Quality
It is,
signing.
and you're like stealing my thunder because he's on a certain 11. We're gonna end this podcast with.
Oh, damn!
Yeah.
But it's Sven Botman though. It's him or
Yeah.
Sven Botman. Like
Well,
Sven Bot.
I know, or both somehow. But yeah, Diego Carlos. I first off, it's disrespectful to come in with 30 million to start.
I
one.
agree.
Based on how solid he has been for Sevilla, if not overly aggressive sometimes.
I
But
agree.
he is one hell of a player. Yeah, that would do a whole lot. I get it. Money talks, and I'm not doing these contract whatevers. But come on, Sevilla's not really out of La Liga title range yet. Like they've played
Mhm.
phenomenally well so far this year in La Liga. They have a chance to win Europa League again. They've already won it with Diego Carlos at the back.
Mhm.
It's just kind of mind blowing to me that a relegation threatened team that is just throwing money at the wall. He does have a low salary,
Yes. Yeah.
at Sevilla. So who knows? Maybe they're just using these media talks for him to get himself a nice raise at
Well,
Sevilla.
the thing
If
with
that's
Sevilla is Monchi, like right, like because they're gonna sell him for 40, 50, and Monchi's gonna sign a substitute for 10, 20. You know what I mean? And maybe
Yeah.
2, 3 players. So I saw that they got Corona for 3 million.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that
Yeah.
is bargain nation right there, man. Bargain city, sorry.
Yeah, that guy's got a lot left, and I know you know him well, right? Because he was what? Porto previous?
Yes. And he wasn't playing because Luis Diaz was there. And because of confidence, when the player doesn't get the contract he wants last year, it's always a struggle. Only if he's a really extreme, really good professional. Like, it's hard not to play with your emotions. And Corona he's a Mexican player. South America, like Central American players love to. Yeah. Sure. So, yeah, the Monchi getting $3 million for Corona, that was a bargain deal. So, yeah, I gotta say it. So let's go for a talk that Arsenal fans would want to see, because we're mentioning Haaland this, Haaland that. Like, truth is, Haaland ain't saying he's going to Arsenal, but someone is giving the availability to go to Arsenal, maybe, and that is Dusan Vlahovic. Is it going to happen, Breton? Yes or no? Do you reckon it will? You don't want to say no, because I'll be honest with you, I'm more inclined to the yes, finally. All these weeks, I've been a no for Vlahovic with Arsenal, but I don't know why. 60 million and Torreira, plus 300k a week in pounds after tax, that is a lot of money, and I think that is a pretty good deal for Fiorentina. So
it is. It absolutely is a good deal, and I think it's the same ultimatum Haaland was given. Vlahovic was also given recently. So we're gonna know sooner rather than later. I can't see it stretching beyond January, but it's I don't know. It just doesn't feel like there's been any progress for it actually to get done. But we know these things come fast and furious. As basically everybody that was tracking Lucas Digne as of late and is falling out at Everton, that happened really quickly. Once the Aston Villa rumors started, boom, he was in an Aston Villa shirt looking happy as a clam.
Like, and what a deal for Aston Villa too, right, Breton? Like, Lucas Digne, that do you feel like right now, if they're getting Digne, Coutinho, maybe Bissouma, I saw news about that. Like, they are eyeing up for their European spots.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be ambitious and certainly possible if they can get everybody meshed. That's the thing. That's the thing here. I don't think Digne plays in a way where he's not going to be able to slot in there, but like Matt Target wasn't exactly terrible for them.
I agree.
Right? At the left. I think Matty Cash is pretty underrated at right back.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I don't know. It's just how well these guys can mesh, because Coutinho he's a different player. He's a different player. It's going to be really interesting. And then you still have Wendia. You still have Leon Bailey. Like, these guys have not transitioned yet and meshed yet in this team. And I'll be interested to see if there's a lagging period before they really start kind of.
But you mentioned well, man. Matty Cash is mad underrated, man. He even chose Poland, right? He's playing for Poland. Like,
he hasn't played well for them yet. But he is him at Villa, and then previous to that. Why am I forgetting where he was previous to that?
But it's
Nottingham Forest. He was at Nottingham Forest, and just a really, really solid player. Like, constantly at the top of most statistical categories, always moving. But anyway, that's for a different day. But yeah, so many different transfers, dude. Many good ones.
True. And then we have you have Chouameni too, that is being highly linked to a Man United and to a Liverpool move. And if Chouameni's being linked to Man United, we all know why. It's Ralph Rangnick, the reason why, man. And I'll be honest with you, Pogba can go if Chouameni comes. I'm honest. I'm not saying he's the same level, but he's younger, and he would stay and he would give it all for Man United, in my opinion. So, and going with that, Pogba, is it going to be PSG, Juventus? I saw Barcelona and Real, but I honestly getting, again, more inclined with the Juve deal coming back to Juve, Pogba. Coming back to Juve.
They're trying to offload Arthur, which is a big nut. Obviously not
Exactly.
as big nut as Paul Pogba is, but
Exactly.
but yeah, I'd love it. I mean, Pogba, McKennie, ooh, because I don't.
Woo!
But McKennie has been their best player as of late.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I would love for McKennie to even get even like I don't know 10% of the sauce Paul Pogba can give him. So I don't know. That does sound pretty logical to me. He wants to go to a place where he knows he can thrive, and I just hope that for him. I do. I just want to see him playing again.
There's I feel you. I feel you. Pogba playing with confidence, playing with emotion, with passion. Pogba just looks different, and yeah, we all want to see that. For Le Bleu,
The World
he
Cup year. The World Cup year. So he's got to get his. Yeah.
Exactly the World Cup year. So I just wanted to end up the transfers with one note that I saw. I know, okay, Wolves always signs Portuguese players, blah blah blah. But Wolves today, okay, signed a Estoril winger that is mad underrated. And guys, really remember the name. His name is Chiquinho. Okay, he's from Estoril here in Portugal. Winger, mad skills, as an end product, and he will play for Wolves. And he's got a body. Okay, he went from chic fininho. If you're Portuguese, you know what I mean. Chic fininho to chic grandão to chic big guy. You know what I mean? So like, watch out. Okay, Chiquinho from now Wolves. He just went to Wolves. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah,
What a
Wolves,
transfer. What a
Wolves has
transfer.
been really pepping up as of late. It's been fun to watch. Jose Sa with another big game versus Southampton today.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and they don't even have Pedro Neto back. I mean, once you get these guys back, Wolves could kick on. They could keep going.
Yes.
But I'll have to watch out. And the only Chiquinho I knew was the one that we were back and forth with, who was at Benfica.
Yeah.
Still is probably trying to find another club, or was it? He might be on loan.
Yeah.
But
So-
hope this one does better.
Mhm.
But we're talking about Estoril. I know you've already let the cat out of the bag about who my starting center back is in the underrated 11. He was also at Estoril, right? Diego Carlos?
Yeah, I'm not sure on that, but I do know he passed through not Estoril, but the Portuguese league. Yes.
Okay.
But I know
Cool.
Diego Costa was at like Penafiel and Braga, like mad scenes. Man. There is a couple of players that you go see and they were in Portugal and you say, what?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Diego Costa, I think that was one that was pretty shocked. So guys, if there's any other transfer we haven't mentioned, please feel free and put down below in the comment section, okay? And yeah, let's get to the last topic. And this is an anticipated one for me and Breton, because we always say, oh, we're gonna do this one day, Now we're doing it, and it's the underrated 11, okay? This season. So, you want to start, Breton?
Yeah, you know what I do? I feel prepared for this one, okay? All right, I'm going to start because I think the goalkeeper is going to rankle some people.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to start with my goalkeeper, and then I want to hear yours.
Okay.
All right, most underrated players so far this season. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Goalkeeper. I'm going to go with David De Gea, Manchester United. How do you feel about that? How do you feel? First instinct. Go.
I'm confused. Here's
why. It totally should be expected, right? It totally should be expected, not to be in the underrated, but beyond the underrated. But my God, I mean, the amount of times he's saved them so far this season, I do feel he's. Don't get me wrong, he's made some big mistakes in a United shirt over the last several seasons.
Mm-hmm.
He absolutely has. But with kind of the mess that's been around him this season. I'm pretty sure if you look at the stats, he's kept a few out that has kept United in games. And I really do feel like he's kind of approaching that underrated territory, at least for this season. Maybe not all time, but we'll see if it lasts. But I do feel because he's at such a high profile club, because there's so much expectation behind him. Calling him underrated seems a little unfair, but he's been very good for United so far this season. So
that's true, and I do agree with you that people are overlooking how good he's been. I agree with you, and they'd be much worse without Ronaldo and De Gea. I agree with you for sure. So I'm going to say my keeper over here. And look, I think, you know what? Straight away, when I say this sentence, you'll know. He's the reason why Messi won a Copa America.
Okay.
It's Emiliano Martinez, man. This guy, in my opinion, is a top 5 goalkeeper in form in the world. He is ridiculous. And it's ridiculous that Arsenal let him go to Aston Villa for such a cheap fee, man. Too. I gotta say that too. Top-notch deal by Aston Villa. And yeah, he is the most underrated keeper, in my opinion, in the world. But the talk was between him. I had a tough one. Between him and José Sá. Because José Sá, like, he's not even the number 1 in the Portuguese national team. José Sá is mad underrated too. I gotta say that. So, let's go, José Sá.
Yeah, and José Sá probably should have been our both of our picks just based on how much he punched above his weight since coming into the Premier League. I mean, it's been like the transition. Like, there's been not even one howler, not even one issue with him where he's caught a goal. He's been nothing but Wolves' best line of defense as it stands. But yeah, the only reason I picked De Gea over him too was just simply because of the mess that's been in front of him. And what he's done regardless. So now those are all very good shouts.
So you want me to start now on the defenders?
Yeah.
Okay, so on the defender side, I have a 4-3-3 tactic, just to say. And so my 4 defenders, I'm gonna go at the left. This time I'm gonna go with Rafael Crud. Because I do think Rafael Crud is underrated. Then Philippe, Godin, and Joaquim Mele. Okay, those are Joaquim Mele. So at the left, Rafael Crud, Philippe, Godin, and Joaquim Mele.
I like it. Mele's really pepped up as of late at Atalanta. So I've been very glad to see that. Philippe has been very solid. Although I picked a different Lali center back. I don't know. I mean, which one out of those 4, who would you say is the most underrated?
Who? Could you? Sorry.
Out of those 4, out of your back line, who would you say, which defender is the most underrated?
I'd say because of what they've done, I'd say Godin. Because Godin, went top levels. But I have to say, too, Rafael Crud is pretty underrated in the world spectrum, man. Because I've seen Rafael Crud playing in midfield at a high level and playing at a really good level at left back, too, for the national team. Because there was a time that Portugal didn't have left backs, and Rafael Crud came in as a savior, I remember. So, and set pieces. That guy is ridiculous, too, in set pieces. So,
do you think Nuno Mendes is a poster of Rafael Guerrero on his wall?
No, he doesn't. I think no, I'm joking. I won't say that. But but Nunes, he will start. He's going to be the left back for Portugal, man. But yeah, he learned. I'm sure he learned a lot with Rafael Cruyff because there comes experience. But let me see your defense.
Yeah, well, Godin, he just made a move back, right, to South America.
Yes, to Brasileirão. Yeah.
Which is good. I mean, he's getting up there in age, but still such quality professional. All right, mine is odd. You ready? Here we go. All right, my left back is Mark Cucurella.
Okay.
Brighton. Okay. My center back, one of 2, is Diego Carlos, Sevilla, who we talked about previously. My other center back, again, it's Aymeric Laporte. Okay. Yep. Laporte for me. Well, I'll talk about them in a second. And my right back is Dani Carvajal. I know he's been injured. He was injured pretty much all of last year. He's only really played 13 or 14 games this year. He might be trending downwards in terms of his importance for Real Madrid. But I don't know. I'm not really there yet. All 3 of Real Madrid's losses this season have come with him out of the lineup when he's not at right back.
Wow, that's a great stat to mention, man.
Yeah.
Carvajal.
Yeah. So like he just turned 30, I know, and he's had a bunch of injuries. He's been in and out, but I'd say, I would even extrapolate and say he's one of the more underrated fullbacks on the planet over the last 5 to 10 years.
Oh,
right? I mean,
I agree.
I mean, I don't see that being that bold.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let me go back through. So, Cucurella, this is more of like a personal preference. I love watching Mark Cucurella play.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Loved watching him at Getafe. I actually thought he was maybe a year or two too early at Barcelona. I thought he could have gotten his chance at Barcelona.
Agreed.
I know everybody likes to look at his hair and call him Sideshow Bob and whatever. But this kid is he's like a Jack Russell Terrier. He's just everywhere on the field. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll get forward. But I know for like 2 years running, he was either leading by a lot, or no, actually, I think for 2 years running in La Liga, he led pressures one. Okay. So he was just always over there. Lightning rod, up that left side. He's been a standout everywhere he's gone. He's normally winning tackles. He can hit a through ball. He can hit a cross. And he hasn't missed a beat for Brighton. He really hasn't missed a beat. And he's been one of the more entertaining players to watch. Still 23. And I'm pretty sure you're going to see him see him play for Spain quite frequently over the next 5 years. Diego Carlos, we already talked about. He's barely ever beaten on the dribble. He's aggressive. He's got 10 clean sheets in 19 starts this year in La Liga. 6 of those were 1-0 wins. So razor thin. I would say the outlier this season was Sevilla's stinker in the Champions League, but like Diego Carlos is, I don't know. He's like a smaller center back, but he's like filled out and just a really good, solid guy. I can't see him at Newcastle, but watch it happen.
I can.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. But Laporte, too, I just think he's the forgotten center back at Manchester City. Obviously, not really a name that you would look at and say kind of underrated, but I think because he's never really in the limelight as like howler central. I mean, he is so trustworthy to Pep Guardiola that I think it's understated. I'm Eric Laporte. It's just expected that he plays at a high level. I know he slipped today versus Chelsea, almost leading to a goal. But again, it's not surprising that City's 2 losses this year, came and he wasn't in either line. Actually, no. He was out one game. The other game, he got a red card early on. So,
well, Laporte is a phenomenal ball-playing center back, and if there's a center back type that Guardiola would love, it's the one that can pinpoint that pass. That's a phenomenal mention. I think Laporte. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I do think Laporte is like overlooked by many because Ruben Dias gets all the attention, man. Especially I give all my attention to Ruben Dias, so
and I believe Laporte came in like a couple weeks after Virgil van Dijk made that big move to Liverpool. So I just feel like he's gotten lost in the mix of the jokes about how Pep likes to spend hundreds of millions of pounds on center backs, but like Laporte has been absolutely key, and probably has allowed Ruben Dias to be who he needs to be, play to his strengths there, and they look good today. It was Laporte and John Stones versus Chelsea, and it didn't really. Chelsea looked.
You want to go ball with the midfield?
Yeah, let's do it. All right, I'll go quicker on this one. Okay, 3 in the midfield. We're 4-3-3. This is underrated ballers for the season so far. My midfield is Sergei Milinkovic-Savic of Lazio. Okay. My defensive mid, even though you could put Milinkovic-Savic there, is Denis Zakaria. And my attacking mid is going to be Bruno Guimaraes.
Okay? What a team, Brenton. What a team. Clip it. What an underrated midfield. Oh,
I like it.
You got me with Milinkovic-Savic. You got me sold. Yeah. I knew the midfield was going to be fire once you said that, man.
I mean, his heat maps are ridiculous. Like, the guy is everywhere. And what I love most about SMS, or whatever you want to call him, what I love most about him is that he will get dirty. Like, he will get stuck in and destroy somebody. Yes. And in the same breath, or like 5 dribbles later, he'll hit a, line splitting pass that sends somebody through or whatever, And 7 goals to go with 7 assists in Serie A this season. He's second in assists in Serie A. He covers so much ground.
Yes.
And he's been doing it. He's been doing it year in, year out for like a relatively uninspiring Lazio team. So
It's so weird, man. For me, like Sergei Milinkovic-Savic has the passing ability, has the finishing ability. He can head the ball, and then you mentioned it. He can cover all. He can cover all. Man, amazing, amazing mention. So I'm gonna go with my midfield over here, and I think it's a good one. So my underrated midfield it's Rodrigo De Paul,
okay.
Tielema, and Dusan
Yeah.
Tadic. This is my underrated midfield, man. Because, come on, Dusan Tadic is like nearly or equaling maybe Lionel Messi in assists. Then we have De Paul that is crucial for Argentina, and he got an amazing move to Atletico. And not a lot of people still talk about Rodrigo De Paul. He's man underrated for me. And Tielema. Like, if I see the scale of things, it's Tielema's balling in the Prem. And if Tielema was in the top 16, people would be going bonkers on him. So I do expect him to have a move, though. Like, he can't be playing for like this for so many seasons and not get snatched up. So, yeah, this is my midfield.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, you and I both have been big fans of Yori Tielemans. I mean, back when he was with Anderlecht coming through, and his move to Leicester surprised and almost delighted us. But you're right. I mean, he's getting to the point. I think his deal is coming up, and he's going to be making a move. Is my guess. I don't think he's going to be renewing with Leicester. So I'll be really interested. And actually, a lot of these that you mentioned, aside from DePaul, who did just sign, Zakaria, Milinkovic-Savic, Guimaraes for Lyon. And Tielemans, I mean, these are all guys that are very much up in the air, right? In terms of club situations. They might be moving to bigger clubs soon, and if they aren't, they should be.
Yeah, you got it right. They're going to move. Those players are going to move. So, front trio. You want to go first?
No, you go first.
Okay, let me go bold on this one. So, my front trio is at the left, I'm going with Christopher Nkunku. At the striker, I'm going Zeku. And at the right, I'm going Son, okay? So, my trio, underrated. For me, he's underrated. But if not Son, I put Berardi. Okay, I had like if you were gonna say, oh no, Son ain't underrated, Berardi, okay? Because Berardi, how is this guy still at Sassuolo, okay? Berardi would literally go to Tottenham right now, or even like I'd say not Man United, but Berardi can play in a top Premier League team, and he's at Sassuolo at Inter. No, but not a lot of people talk about him. But Zeku. For me, Zeku's underrated because Zeku replaced a player for 110 million and replaced pretty well with the same, not the same stat, but he's equaling those stats of Lukaku last season. And now Nkunku. Because, if there's a player that's going to definitely get a move, it's Nkunku. And mad underrated. For me, he's got to be for Le Bleu, got to be in the selection. And, unbelievable stats.
I mean, he's got his footprint on every good thing that Red Bull Leipzig does. So I'm with you there. We also have overlap. Zeko is a great shout because he's been scoring goals for years, man. And for him to step in seamlessly and replace a Lukaku and them still have the same outcome, which is them at the top of the Serie A table currently, that's pretty damn good. We'll see if it lasts, but I like that. So, do you want to guess which one is the overlap?
Son.
Yes. I don't think. So here's what it comes down to. I have him on the left, but here's what it comes down to. Son is underrated because I don't think any of us can fathom how important he is to the footballing world in the Eastern Hemisphere, right? To the importance of spreading the Premier League gospel all across the world. And for just on top of that, how really good of a dude he seems to be, and how good of a footballer he is. And in a team where the buck stops with Harry Kane, he has somehow always picked up that slack when Harry Kane is out. He is always just worn down defenses. He's just been the guy that is just the endless I don't know, like the fly buzzing around your head that just never goes away and you can't catch. Okay. And Tottenham fans, I'm sure, rate him, obviously. But I think the rest of Premier League fans, the rest of the world, might not rate him as highly as they should.
World class.
You know,
No,
he does more for the advancement of football than I don't know, than other people out there. I mean, he's up there in terms of the influence he has on the world footballing culture with Cristiano Ronaldo and Leo Messi because of where he comes from and how important he is to that. So I'm with you. I'm all on board as saying Heung-min Son is one of the best and most underrated footballers, even though he is widely considered one of the most world-class footballers out there. So with that said, I got Heung-min Son. I've got my striker is Gerard Moreno, Villarreal. Hard to kind of say he's underrated when he just keeps scoring goals for Villarreal.
He is.
But he totally is. He's key in the build-up. His first touch is like top-notch. And he's got 90 goals in 149 appearances all time for Villarreal to go with about 27, I think, 28 assists. I mean, he's the all-time leading goal scorer for Villarreal. Him under Unai Emery is just taking it up to another level. So I just think Gerard Moreno is phenomenal. I mean, they were flagging. They were not doing really well. He comes back from injury. He's got 7 goals in 5 starts, and they've got, I think, they're unbeaten in the last 6. It just shows you all you need to know about Gerard Moreno. Waiting for that next move and whether or not it'll ever happen. And then my right wing is going to be Jared Bowen. Okay?
Oh, yes.
Jared Bowen. Yes. Assists versus United. He's got 2 assists versus Liverpool this year, a goal and an assist versus Chelsea. He already has 18 goal involvements this season, more than quite a few of players that have been called up by Gareth Southgate for England. You know me, I always use the term endless engine. Jared Bowen is an endless engine. He just never stops. And he's one of the biggest keys to West Ham's outperformance. So I wanted to go with Domenico Berardi because of just sheer output. But Jared Bowen, for me, this is probably because I watch the Premier League more. So I admit it. I get it. I haven't been watching Sassuolo as much as I've been watching West Ham. But Jared Bowen has just been phenomenal for them. And I'm going to say it. He deserves an England national team call-up.
Love it. And I agree with it. So let's just go down with the 11. So my 11 has Martinez, Rafael Guerreiro, Felipe, Godin, Joaquim Mele. Then in midfield, Depol, Tielemans, Tadic. And then forwards, Nkunku, Zeku, and Son. This is my underrated 11. So
I like it. All right. My underrated 11 is De Gea, Cucurella, Diego Carlos, Laporte, Carvajal, Zakaria, Milinkovic-Savic, Guimaraes from Lyon, Heung-min Son, Gerard Moreno, and finally Jared Bowen. These are good teams.
Man, I like that team. I love the Bruno Guimaraes mention, man, because Bruno Guimaraes is really going to leave Lyon. 100% going to leave Lyon.
He is, and I really am interested in where he's going to wind up. I mean, he's a little sloppy sometimes in possession, so I don't know if it's going to be a possession-based team, but like, he's so good. He can do it all. A lot like Milinkovic-Savic. So I'm really excited to see where these guys wind up.
So people, comment in the comment section below your favorite 11, okay? And who should be in our favorite 11s, okay? Because we really want to see those underrated names pop up here in the comment section, man. And please like the video too. So guys, I hope you enjoyed episode 39. Okay, it was a really nice one, man, because the underrated 11, I can't stress enough how many times we talked to get this done. Yeah. And yeah.
Like, subscribe. Come on, tell them all that stuff.
Like, subscribe. Check out fcwonderkid.com. And huge appreciation on that. And guys, thank you for being a part of the boldest community on the interwebs at FC Wonderkid. Man, I hope you guys have a really nice week. And see you next time.